Eisner, Cleveland Heights, Ohio. Yes, I was thinking about some of what went on at the recent trial, and although I won't get into any of those exact details, I'm also I began looking at one of the defense's arguments about that what happened at the recount wasn't the responsibility of the women who were charged. And there were all kinds of different arguments regarding that. And many of them pointed back to the board. And one of the arguments was that the law actually states that it's the Board of Elections that is supposed to open up sealed ballots, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not here to argue that point. However, what it pointed out to me is that it really needs definition as to whose responsibilities are whose. And it also became clear to me that in the time that I've been here, that I'm not really clear about the duties and responsibilities of the board. It became further clear to me as I read the Secretary of State's directive about minimum qualifications for the director or deputy director, which is coming up closely in great importance here, as a new director and deputy director will be taking seats here. And those minimum qualifications included such things as providing true and records of what happens at these meetings, providing public information in a timely manner, and I can find my copy if you'd like me to read some of those things. But I would really, really appreciate knowing if my assumption is correct, that the minimum qualifications of a director and a deputy director should be, number one, encompassed by the board. Those should also be duties of the board to delegate to the director and deputy director. And I would like to know what the duties of the board are. As you know, I've been here talking about non-responsiveness since August about EMPs, haven't I? Funny thing that we didn't look at the specifications for the EMPs. And I still don't have them. Talking about remakes, talking about and getting kind of funky answers at the last meeting. Mr. Bennett, you said something to the effect of that all the remakes are done by the director and deputy director, and all the ballots are kept with their original. That's not true. It's just not true. I watched the process, and I didn't know until I watched it, but with the absentee ballots, that is not true. It is not a truism. There are bins of remakes, and I watched them being coded in 3 different ways by 3 different groups, being supervised by 3 different people on 3 different half days. And so it's just not true. And so I would hope that the duties of the Board of Elections includes getting the public information that is requested from this board, not only through Kim Bartlett, and I don't know if Kim's still back there, and she's been doing a fine job when I request documents, but I've been here asking for things from the board. And last time I asked for a simple item, that somebody here take responsibility of making a list of things that citizens ask for as they come up, that we're asking the board questions that need answers, and putting those online so that we can track the board. You are the agents of us, the citizens. They are our elections, and we need a way to monitor. So again, I'm going to ask for the simple item of someone taking the action items and putting them online. I would like, additionally, I'd like to know what are the duties and responsibilities of the Board of Elections. to the citizens, not only to the Secretary of State, but to the citizens. And regarding providing true history, again, I heard the minutes were on February 5th. Mr. Bennett, you made a correction to the minutes, and it was regarding something that this board had offered to me in a conversation when I said I'd like a committee to meet with the board. And Mr. Bennett, I remember the incident, but I haven't seen the minutes. I don't know if that is a true rendition, according to my understanding too. I asked about posting results at the polling places, the most essential form of transparency of an election. So at the precinct level, citizens can see the results should they choose, and we can track those results from the precinct. And if anybody cares to, they can run around and have people run around and mark them all down and come back and say, well, is what the board telling us were the results? Is this what we're getting to? It should be. So it was that conversation, and on the 22nd, it was an abbreviated meeting because of the trial, and I had sent you an email and asked you to please not make precedent for the February election, and you agreed, and I asked that there be a committee be able to meet with members of the board who understand elections so that we could decide on a process that would make it both posting at the precinct, posting results at the precinct level on election night, both workable for the board, easily workable for the board, and satisfactory to citizens like me who are very concerned about election transparency and our ability to monitor our elections and know that our results are what you are telling us. So, going back to the minutes, because the clerk, you assigned me the contact person being the clerk, but the clerk, I don't know, and it's fine, I'm not saying anything about people being on vacation, but the minutes from January 22nd aren't up. So my third suggestion, besides this action item and list online, and a policy or something showing the duties and responsibilities of the Board of Elections to the citizens, I would suggest that the draft of minutes be put online within a week of a meeting, marked over saying draft so nobody can mistake them. And that when you represent the minutes, that you might ask for comments from the audience. There won't be a whole lot of people who will read them. I will, and I know a few other people who will. But we want to know that those are true renditions of what happened. And we need them in a timely manner so that we can follow what's going on at the Board of Elections. That is history that is being made, and I think it needs to be agreed upon by all of us. Last two things I would like to know. I actually want to know where Jessica Heiner is. And the EMPs, we just heard about that. The optical scan machines that had to be reconfigured and certain ones had to be picked out for February. And that was MCR and the printer and licensing agreements between Diebold. Every single piece of Diebold equipment has been shown nationally or locally, not just glitches, but with major operational and or security problems, which makes it unable for us to ascertain for sure that those results are our results. So, I would like to know, I actually, this is a document that I actually asked for with Kim, but I would like to know the total cost. Mr. Coxon, you had asked this at a meeting a few weeks ago. What is the total cost approximately of what this board has paid to Diebold, say, in the last year? Do you know? I'm not trying to put you on the spot. If you don't know, you don't know. But you had asked Camilla.
Yes. I don't have that document.
That's okay. That's okay. But I also asked ask him to get the list of vouchers from just the vouchers of this meeting. That there were, you had mentioned, Mr. Coxum, as you were going through, there were like 6 or 7 payments to Diebold there that we know nothing about. So I want to know how many millions we're handing over to Diebold, and where is this board's demand of Diebold's liability? They're going to use our EMP, send the things back, give them back and get our money back. You know, to say that we have redundancy, yes, we sent Brian and a crew out to go get machines. Did you hear that? And bring machines back to create that redundancy. It would have been faster to upload the cards and the TSXs in a small election.
I don't disagree with that.
And so, I mean, all this time and money, where is our warranty? I would hope that one of the duties of the Board of Elections is to stand and say, give us our money back. Go do your testing on your own time. Let us alone. We need accurate elections. And last, I would very much appreciate, an outline of the agreement that the board has made with, I know Mr. Vu, and I hope you're feeling okay with your doctor's appointment. You look like you're not feeling too cold, blood test or something. Yeah. But an outline of the consultancy agreement. I'd like to know what the public can rely on with Mr. Vu for, you know, 3 or 4 months of his $120,000 salary. That's $40,000 of taxpayer money. The public needs to be able to rely on Mr. Vu. We need to know what to expect for $40,000. That's more than a lot of people in the United States make in a year. And I don't know if, Gwen, I don't know if you're going to be around for a consultancy position. Are you going to be around through like June 30th? It hasn't been determined. Well, if there is another consultancy position, I think the public deserves to know what is it that we can rely on Mr. Vu for, to us, not just to you guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill. Do we have anything else? Is there anything else from the audience?
Do we usually post the minutes on our website?
We do when the board approves them.
But the draft and the reported, there's nothing up there regarding minutes from 122 nor from 225. I think it's a fair request to get them.
It's a fair request, and I also think it's a fair request to list those action items that we agreed to as a board in 1, 2, 3 order.
Is it the highlights that you were referring to? I think you get the highlights, don't you? We do the highlights after the meetings that essentially talks about what the board actions are.
No, that's not what you're saying. No. 2 issues. One, the posting of the minutes. I don't know if we could do the draft, but we should be able to post the minutes.
Yes.
They're a matter of public record.
That's right.
And
those are posted.
Exactly.
You said 2 are missing, we should fill those in.
Right. Number 1. Number 2, I don't find the second step to be offensive, and that is posting the action items that we have agreed to take as a board. Because I have to agree with Ms. Eisner, on several occasions, I have asked that things be followed up on. But, you know, at the state I am in my life, without a tickler, I might forget. So, and if we're not that, I think that's reasonable. And I think that would put a certain set of checks on us as a board.
I think it's generally the role of the clerk to the board is to repair what the actions have been of the board, and that there is one that comes out now.
No, that's not what you're saying. For example, if we agreed that certain, for example, Mr. Bennett had requested that there be a monthly report from that that's an action item that could be posted. Okay? And then we would have to set up checks and balances. That's a specific action item. And that came out of this meeting.
The one that comes out now.
No, that's not what you're saying. For example, if we agreed that certain, for example, Mr. Biddup had requested that there be a monthly report from, that's an action item that could be posted. Okay? And then we would have to set up checks and balances. That's a specific action item. And that came out of this meeting.
It would be a tracking item for the board.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
Excuse me, but I was also referring to maybe a separate section of that could be action items requested by citizens, whether or not the
Oh,
board
yes, yeah.
has taken action. And it would be helpful if it just says table next to it, even if the board declines to fulfill that request. I think it's important for others to be able to see what's been requested, what's been declined. It gives us a better way of working together eventually. And regarding the minutes, I wasn't clear. I was referring both to timely posting of approved minutes, but I was also requesting that draft minutes before they have gone through the approval process, because sometimes there's been up to a 2-month delay on approval process, which then would delay them from being online. I was requesting, secondly, the draft minutes go online within a week of the meeting with draft all over them, but still so that they're readable. And that way, before the board does approve the minutes, the public who was at the meeting has some way of saying, yeah, that rings true with me too.
On that, as I would, Mr. Chairman, I would refer to our legal counsel to find out whether or not we are in a position to provide draft minutes in advance. Because typically,
Draft minutes are exactly what they are. I don't think that we would post draft minutes on the website until they're approved by the board member and they're circulated to all the board members.
But then if the public, my point is that if others who have been at the meeting believe that the minutes aren't fully reflective of what happened, that the public could then give, even in writing, input for the board to consider before the board approves those minutes. I've checked with the Attorney General, the last Attorney General, Attorney A.G. Petro, and his office has advised me, at least advised me last year, that it's absolutely legal to do that. Some counties do that, and it's up to the singular Board of Elections whether or not they want to do that. So,
I think,
Well-
Mr. Chairman, we take that issue under advisement, take a look at it.